Hello, everybody. We are back, or at least I am back. I guess you guys have been here. Uh, it's been a while. It's been what, about a month? But December, the holidays, is the end of the year is always busy. So I had my I was gone for 8 days on my New York trip, and then I came back with a terrible head cold that took me forever to get over. Just kept lingering and lingering. I think I'm finally past it, except for just the usual. This time of year, I always keep a sniffly nose. So anyway, nothing big. At least the bad, the head cold is gone. And then we had Christmas and New Year's, and I've been trying to work extra to get caught up on my bills because I'm way behind. But anyway, enough of my problems. I hope everybody had a good New Year. I hope everybody is having a good 2026 so far. We're what about? I don't even know what today is. A week into it. Saturday the 5th, 6th, whatever day it is. I don't know. I've lost track. You know me, but I'm so glad to be back. And honestly, I just needed a little vacation at the end of the year. I was getting worn down between, like I said, all the holidays and the trip and the extra work, and I was just getting worn down. So I took a little bit of time, but we are back, and we're going to get back into the groove. Hopefully, start fresh this year, 2026. It's good to see everybody here tonight. I didn't know how many people were going to be here tonight since I've been gone so long. But I'm glad you guys are here. We're going to this is our first missing person Monday live stream of 2026. And we have been doing last year. We were doing a city, featuring a city from each state. We're going to kind of take a break from that because I already had what we're going to be featuring posters and missing persons from Locks of Reunification. And I forgot to put, let me grab it right quick. If you have not checked out Locks of Reunification, got to get back into learning how to talk again. on Facebook, the Facebook group. Please check it out. I was going to pin it to the top of the chat, but I do have it bookmarked here on my laptop, so I will put the link in the chat, and I'll also put it on a YouTube post after this is over. So please do check out Matt and Miss Rose and everybody at Locks of Reunification. They do such a wonderful job making missing posters, bringing awareness to missing persons. They do cold cases. They do newer missing. They just do such a good job over there. So I think we have 15 we're going to go over tonight. I know that sounds like a lot. But on some of these, there's not a whole lot of information. Back a month ago when I was getting ready for this, I did manage to find some stuff on at least a little bit of information on most of these, just to bring awareness. And most of these I was not aware of. So that's our whole purpose here. If this is your first time here, welcome. We feature missing persons, cold cases, true crime news. Mostly concentrate. That's the word I'm looking for. Concentrate mostly on missing persons. A lot of cold cases. So if that sounds like your cup of tea and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed, please do all the YouTube things for the algorithm. Hit the like button, share it, comment. If you're watching replay, we love our replay crew. Thank you so much. I see there's a lot of people in chat. I'm going to get to you guys. Just so glad to have everybody here. And forgive me if I seem a little more goofy than usual. Like I said, it's been a while, so I got to get back into the hang of it. So let's see who is here. Chris is here. Always good to see Chris. Mustang is here. Hello, honey. How are you doing? She says, good to see you. Glad you're back. Thank you so much. I am glad to be back. And I'm hoping and I forgot to, I left my Kleenexes on my bed. I can feel my nose wanting to drip already. But anyway, Miss Lisa Jo was here, or she checked in. She says she will be back. So hopefully she will make it back. Always good to have Miss Lisa Jo. And there's Miss Farr, all the way from Australia. Told you I can't talk. Australia. Good to see you, ma'am. Who else do we have? Miss Barbara is here. Hello, lady. How are you doing? Always glad to see Miss Barb. And I've been trying to, even though I haven't been doing live streams, and I did upload a few videos at the end of in December, some that I had pre-recorded. I try to keep some pre-recorded videos in the queue to upload. But I don't think I've posted any in the last maybe week or so, but I'm going to try to get some more videos recorded to upload during the week. But I completely lost my train of thought as always. Oh, goodness. But I have been trying to, even though I haven't been doing live streams, I have been trying to catch other people's live streams or be on replay crew or try to get caught up on their videos. And if you haven't checked out Trial Junkies United with Ms. Z and Doc, please do check them out. They had a very interesting live stream for those. They do live streams on Thursday nights, Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Central. And last night they did a live stream on Jack the Ripper. Very interesting. That case has always fascinated me. I think I did share it. If I have not shared it already, I will share it, the link to it. But please just go to the channel and just check out everything they do. Everything they do is awesome. Please do go check them out. Let's see who else is here. Miss Paula is here. Hello, Miss Paula. And I know I'm pretty sure Miss Paula has probably been busy watching football and watching Stranger Things. I think Miss Paula, was it New Year's Eve or New Year's Day was the very last series finale episode of Stranger Things. I know Miss Paula can tell us. Don't tell us what happened, because I have to go back all the way to the beginning and start all over again and rewatch. But anyway, I digress. Miss Miranda is here. Hello, Miss Miranda. Good to see you. Lance is here. Good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you in a while. All the way from Canada. It's always good to have you here. That is excellent advice. Is that the name of your song? I'm going to have to listen to it. Then you put the link. I think you put the link into the song. Yes, I will definitely have to listen to that. Yes, it is most definitely nice seeing everyone. Let's see, make sure I don't miss anybody. There's Miss Doodlebug. How you doing, lady? Oh, and I forgot to check. I will check today. Today's the 5th, right? Doodlebug knows what I'm talking about. I forgot to check. I will check. Let's see. Come on. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to try to start out 2026 without a dumpster fire here. Yes, everybody's saying Happy New Year. Absolutely. Chris says it is already happy. There's Matt from Locks of Reunification. Good to see you, sir. Once again, please do check out Locks. I have trouble saying it. Locks of Reunification on Facebook. Go over there if you do Facebook. Go over there, take a look at all the posters, like the post, comment on the post, share the post. All these missing are just so important to bring as much awareness as possible to. So please do check them out. Miss Paula says she does know what happens, but she's not going to say it. Thank you. No spoilers. Oh my goodness. The National Treasure is here. Hello, Mr. Steve from True Crime Web. He says, wishing everyone a great year. So good to have you here. Always an honor and a pleasure to have Mr. Steve. Please do check out True Crime Web. For anyone who may not know already, Mr. Steve is former law enforcement, former CSI. I almost said a former CSI. He could be a farmer too. He was in Georgia, now he's in Florida. He may be a farmer too. Who knows? Former CSI, former law enforcement. Now he has a nonprofit organization. You can find that at truecrimeweb.com. He goes out now, boots on the ground, helps families free of charge with the cold cases, missing loved ones, trying to get justice for whoever needs justice. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there, people who need to be found, families who need answers, families who need closure. And Mr. Steve is, in my opinion, the best at doing that. So it is good to have Mr. Steve here. Oh, Mr. Steve, I hope you and the family had a good New Year. Let's see. Thank you. Doodle is on it. There is the link to True Crime Web on YouTube. And there's a link I put in for the Locks of Reunification Facebook group. Chris says, can we please start using cases that are upsetting to us? Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Anybody knows if you have a case that you want me or any other of these great creators here, Doodlebug, me, whoever else that might be in here that I just, I'm trying to think, like I said, it's been so long. I'm out of the groove here. Just go check out the main page of this channel. Go down to where it says visit our friends below. Lots of great creators that we support. Miss Z is one of them. She takes on injustice cases, any kind of cases, but she focuses on injustices in cases. But absolutely, if you have a case that you would like me to cover or take a look at, You can email me absolutely at southerngaltruecrime@hotmail.com. Just give me, I need a name, time frame, year, a state, just the basics to help me find the right case, the one that you're talking about, and I will absolutely take a look at it and see what I can do. Whoops, everything jumped. Hold on. There we go. Mr. Steve said he has been busy, looking forward to having a great year. Excellent. And I'm sure you're probably going to stay busy this year too. If I know Mr. Steve, we know Mr. Steve, he stays busy doing the good work. Thank you, Mustang and Doodle, and everybody who is getting in all the channel links. Thank you so much. So the series finale for Stranger Things was on New Year's Eve. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Yeah, and also on my time off, I spent a lot of time watching football. Been watching all the college playoff games and bowl games, and then now the NFL is getting into their playoffs. My Bears are still in it, surprisingly. The Niners are still in it for my mom. She likes the Niners, which I do too. Chiefs, I don't know what happened to the Chiefs. They pooped out. But my Bears are still in it. So got a little bit of hope, although they let the Lions beat them. When did they play? Saturday? I think they played this Saturday. I know I watched the game, but all the days have been running together. Anyway, so that's another thing I've been doing to try to relax and de-stress, and is watching a lot of football. Hey, Patriotism, good to see you. Let's say hi, everyone. Did you know me and Doodlebug got lost in a Walmart parking lot? Surprised? No, I'm not surprised. I can get lost in a Walmart parking lot. Not as bad as my mom can. My mom can get lost in any parking lot. Oh, just one of the things I love about her. She also likes to, which is one of my pet peeves, drive the wrong way down the aisle. Oh, but yeah, even in the small, I don't think I've ever gotten lost because I do Spark deliveries, grocery deliveries for Walmart now. And it's a super center, but it's a small store. I don't think I've ever gotten lost in that parking lot, but I have gotten lost in when we go to the big city, to the bigger Walmarts. We have gotten lost or forgotten, not really gotten lost, but forgot where we parked the car because we don't pay attention to what aisle we park on. It happens to the best of us. Anyway, I digress again, as usual. Oh, but it's good to see you, Patriotism. Let's see. Wow, Shop Zone, welcome. It says, hi, everyone. Adam Leischer's mom. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We'll definitely look at that. Thank you for joining us. Miss Farr has been a member for 14 months. A year and 2 months. She says, Happy New Year, all. Absolutely. So guess what? We get to put a cow in the pasture. If the cow has not run away. There we go. Thank you so much, Miss Farr, for your continued support. Absolutely. And I was watching, I think Dick Clark's, which I think Ryan Seacrest hosted now, but Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. I did watch it. That was my big New Year's Eve celebration in my jammies, sitting in the bed watching a TV. And I think they did show the Australian fireworks. Of course, Australia was way ahead of the US, obviously. Beautiful fireworks show. Anyway, just wanted to throw that in because I know Miss Farr is from Australia. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. Thank you to Miss Farr. Let's see. Yep. Did I miss something? Let me make sure I didn't miss. Oh, I did miss something. Hold on. Miss Farr also gifted 5 Southern Gal True Crime memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I almost missed it. Thank you, Miss Farr. That is so sweet of you, and I apologize for almost missing it. And you guys can tell me, I can't see it on StreamYard. You guys can see it on the YouTube side. Who got the memberships? So congratulations to everybody who got a membership. Very exciting. Ms. Paula says, did you hear about the Brown University case? You'll have to refresh my memory. I heard something about Brown University, but everything's a jumble in my mind right now. You'll have to let me know exactly what happened. I do remember hearing something. Okay, so Far says, welcome to Buffalo Days, D. Ashley, Miss Louise Cuevas, Mark Schumann, and Kim Holmes. So congratulations to you guys. Welcome to the, as I say, welcome to the paddock. Good to have you here. Yep. Miss Paula says the Patriots are the #2 seed in the entire AFC. Yeah, and I think the Bears, since Washington lost, I think the Bears are the #2 seed in the NFC. So yay, Bears. It's been a long time since the Bears have been good. I don't know. I'm just afraid the Bears, it depends on which Bears team shows up. We'll just put it that way. Chris said his Broncos are the #1 seed. Yep. Chris said Bears are #2 NFC. Absolutely. Wow Shop Zone says, nice to see everyone. I came across your live as I'm forced to stay in bed sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you found our live, but I hate that you're sick. Thoughts, prayers, and good vibes going out to you. I hope you get to feeling better soon. But it's good to have you here again. Yep. Doodles says, yes, get well soon. Far says it was a beautiful firework. Yes, it was. They just showed maybe 2 or 3, maybe a short clip, maybe 30 seconds to a minute of it, but it was gorgeous. Oh, it's Avery. Hey, Miss Avery, good to have you here. Oh, she changed her name again. What's the same name? A variation of her name. Good to see Miss Avery. All right, and Wild Shop Zone says her name is Farah. All right, so I can call you Farah instead of Wild Shop Zone. And I've seen your YouTube channel pop up in my I think I'm subscribed because it pops up in my my For You page, notifications, whatever. I've seen the Wild Shop Zone pop up. Yeah, we are doing well. Hope you're doing well, Miss Avery. I'm gonna get caught up, and I promise we're gonna get started. Lance, yes, loves the move. Yeah, Miss Paula said the Patriots also won the AFC East. Yep. Oh, I know. I can't believe Alabama lost either. Miss Avery's talking about she couldn't. I can't believe how bad Alabama lost. I think they all had the flu. Only explanation that yeah, Alabama lost. The SEC did not have a good showing, except for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is in it. They're going to the semifinals. They'll be playing. Who are they playing? Oregon. So Ole Miss plays Oregon, and Indiana plays somebody. I can't think. But yeah, SEC, which I'm an SEC girl, being from Arkansas. But yeah, Alabama did took a big poop on the field. excuse my phrasing. Georgia did not do well. None of the SEC teams did well, except for, like I said, except for Ole Miss. But I was very disappointed with the SEC showing in the postseason, in the bowl games. Okay, so this is the link to Lance's channel. He said that link will take you to my channel. Thank you very much. Miss Farah says, I'm used to being called Adam's mom, so people never get to know my name. Well, Miss Farah, we are glad to have you here. There's Dave. Hello, friend. I haven't seen you. I feel so bad. I haven't even been, I've been going to sleep early. Dave has a magnificent channel. Please go check it out. He does a live stream late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, depending on how you look at it, once a week. And it's been forever since I've got to join Dave in the chat while he's live, but it's always good to see Dave here. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope your daughter is doing better. I know Dave's daughter was having some health issues. I hope she is doing well. Thoughts, prayers, and good vibes going out to her, to your whole family, but especially to her. Yes, and Dave is listening and driving, as always. Miss Lisa Jo made it back. Welcome back, Miss Lisa. And I apologize for my scratchy voice, but it's during this, like I said, during this time of year, especially with the weather change here in Arkansas. One day it's 40 degrees, 50 degrees, and then it gets up to 70 or 80, because it's been in the 40s to mid 50s for the past few days, and then in a couple of days it's going to be up in the 70s, and we're supposed to have storms. So keeps everything messed up. Oh goodness. Miss Avery said Alabama was awful. I was screaming at the TV. I know. I'm a screamer too at the TV when I'm watching football, so I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah, we understand. Dave says sorry. He can't say hi to everyone because he is driving. But hi, everyone, from Dave. I will say it for him. Dave said his daughter is doing much better. That is excellent to hear. Excellent to hear. Yeah, Miss Avery said it's going to be 77 Friday in Alabama. Yeah, at the middle of this week, maybe towards the end of the week, around Wednesday or Thursday. I think mainly Thursday here in Arkansas. It's going to be up in the 70s, and we're going to have a chance of storms. Arkansas weather for you. Or I should say it's southeastern weather for you. Okay, I think we are caught up. Oh my goodness. Miss Farr says it's 110 all week. I'm going to fry an egg on the concrete at the end of the week and walk on the melting tar in thongs. Oh goodness, Miss Farr. Miss Farr kills me. We love Miss Farr. Okay, so before we get into our Locks of Reunification, and I'm hoping it's going to let me share my screen. We have, I think, 4 missing teenagers and young adults here in Arkansas right now that I quickly wanted to share. If it will let me share my screen. Let me get to the first one. And I checked right before or after I ate supper when I was getting ready to make sure that best case scenario that they had been found safe and sound. But when I checked, there was no updates on any of these, so I'm going to assume that they're still missing, unfortunately. I think, no, what? Okay. StreamYard, I think, has changed up their dashboard again. All right, let me see if it'll share. It might take a minute to pop up. I'm just going to share the screen because I forgot to download just the pictures. It may pop up, it may not. I'm looking to see. Let me know when you can see it. There it is. Okay. So the first one we have is from Cabot, which is not very far from me here from Central Arkansas. Oh, well, apparently he has been located. So good news on that one. The missing Cabot boy has been located. Thank goodness. So we can go on to the next one. That was within the last probably hour since I checked. So let me go to the next one. Maybe we'll have some good news on some more of these. Sorry, everything's as usual running slow. So next one, slow on my computer. So next one we have is from Pine Bluff. It may take it a minute to load. Okay. All right. So there's, and I'll go back to his picture. The Pine Bluff Police Department has asked for the public's help in locating a missing teen. According to reports, 16-year-old Tony Brayson was last seen on December 5th, so about a month now, as he was running into the woods near the Jack Roby School. So don't have any context as to why he was running into the woods. It just says he was last seen running into the woods near the school. He was last seen wearing a red hoodie with black letters on it and red pants. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is urged to contact the Pine Bluff Police Department at 870-541-5300 or the detective's office at 870-730-2090. And let me go back to his picture. There he is right there. I'm going to take a minute to, there he is. So that is our missing teen from Pine Bluff. Let's see who we got next. I think we have two more. If I would push the right buttons, things would go faster. We have one from Pulaski County, which is the Central Arkansas, the Little Rock area. This one he's been missing for quite a while. There's just, I wish I could get this ad to go away. There we go. Okay, there's his picture, and I will show the picture again. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office has asked for the public's help in locating a missing man with ties to Central Arkansas. According to officials, 26-year-old Matthew Summers was reported missing on December 2nd. So once again, it's been over a month on this one also of 2025. After he left his home on November 27th, 2025 and did not return. So actually, the last time he was seen was November 27th of 25, and he was reported missing on December 2nd of 2025. So reports say that he has connections to Southwest Little Rock, Conway, and Benton. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is urged to call Detective Braxton at 501-340-6940 or 501-340-6963. I'll give you his picture once again. This is Matthew Summers. Make sure my screen is still up there. I swear, once again, my farm signal, everything's moving slow tonight. There we go. It's Matthew Braxton, missing from Pulaski County, Arkansas. Since late November, reported missing beginning of December 2nd. So I think we have one more, and then we'll get to our Locks of Reunification. This is the newest one. I think today it popped up in my notifications from our local, one of our local news channels. If the page will load. Turn off my camera for a minute while I'm waiting for it to load. Come on. Don't tell me it's going to poop out on me. Oh, but this is Arkansas State Police. There we go. So this is from White County, which once again, it's not too far from me. It's, I believe, north of White County is north of me, I believe. Close the ad. There's his picture. Once again, I will show it again. Arkansas State Police have now issued a missing endangered advisory for a White County teen. According to reports, 17-year-old Jacob Ray Goodwin was last seen in McRae. He is believed to have left his home on Highway 367 on December 18th of 2025. So not quite a month, but still one day is too long. And it says he was last seen sometime between midnight and 3 a.m. So apparently he left his home sometime in the middle of the night. He is 5'5" tall, about 220 pounds, with brown reddish hair. He was last seen wearing a green shirt with the words Cersei Sheet Metal. He was wearing black pants. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is urged to contact the White County Dispatch at 501-279-6241. So once again, that is Jacob Ray Goodwin. I'll show his picture one more time. And I will do a community post on all 4 of these. I think I've done community posts on the first 3 already, but I will redo them, reshare them, and I will also do a community post for Jacob here, a community post here on YouTube, and I will also share them on my Facebook page. All right, so that is our Arkansas people. So let me stop sharing that, and we will get on with our Locks of Reunification. Let me there we go. Get my slideshow going here. And also remember to turn my camera back on. And I apologize for sometimes my cord gets caught and it makes that scratchy sound. But one of the things I got for Christmas is a new wireless microphone. One of those clip-on wireless microphones. So I'm excited about that, but I have not had the chance to try it out yet. So I'm not using it tonight. I'm going to test it and on some videos just to make sure everything's working properly. Why is that? Hold on, I'm having technical difficulties as usual. Okay, there we go. Everything was all the wrong size, but I'm excited about checking out. That was my Christmas present from my brother, my baby brother. Because he would not leave me alone. Although I don't need anything, I don't want anything. I never want anybody to buy me anything for birthday, Christmas, whatever. I'd rather them spend it on the kids, grandkids, whatever, nieces, nephews. But baby brother, I want to get you something. What do you want for Christmas? So the only thing I could think of was, I'd been thinking about it. It would be nice to have a wireless microphone, but I didn't want to buy it for myself because I don't like to spend money because I don't have a lot to spend. But I found a cheap one on Amazon, so I just sent him the link to it, and he got it for me for Christmas. So I will get it all tested and hopefully work it, and hopefully next live stream I will have it. Anyway. Oh, okay. Let me get caught up in your comments once again, and we will get started. Good to see everybody here once again. I know I marked there we go. Marked where I left off so I don't get lost. Try not to get lost. Yes, Miss Farr said good news to start. Yes, like I said, the first Arkansas featured or was talking about has been found. Always good news when they are found safe and sound. Like I said, that happened within the last hour and a half that they did that update. So very glad to hear that. Yes, thank you. Mustang says do all the things for the algorithm. Thank you so much. Let's see. Ooh, Lance says it is minus 15 Celsius in Calgary. Excuse me, plus or minus a couple of degrees. Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you, Miss Barb. There is, excuse me, Miss Paula's links. Miss Paula's link to her channel. Oh, goodness. Lance says sometimes it gets minus 40 Celsius. Good Lord. I'm a Southern girl. I'm used to the heat. I do not like the cold. Don't like the cold. Let's see. Thank you very much, Miss Barb. Put in Dave's Alan the Proud's channel link. Just make sure nobody snuck in on me. Okay. We are caught up, so we will get into... All right, first we have... since this is working, this is Leona Brule. She's been missing, and I have a mixture kind of cold cases and newer cases with these. But this is from Leona has been missing since March 25th, 1989, from Fort Providence, which I believe the NWT is Northwest Territory, Canada, I think. Somebody can correct me, please, if I'm wrong. She is 4 feet 6 inches tall, 100, or when she went missing, 4 foot 6 inches tall, 106 pounds. She is indigenous. She was last seen in Fort Providence, Northwest Territories. During the time of her disappearance, she was leading a high risk and transient lifestyle. It says that she may have spent some time in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and Florida here in the U.S. So if you have any information, please contact G Division of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police at 876-765-3822. And I think I was able to find maybe a couple of things on Miss Leona. Let's see what this is. If things come up. This is from Doe Network. Let's see if it has anything additional. Let's see. She was just 18 years old. I don't know if I mentioned that. She was 18 years old when she went missing. Black curly hair, brown eyes. She has a circular shaped scar on her upper right cheek and a burn scar on her left hand. She has pierced ears. Her dentals are available, fingerprints unknown, DNA unknown. So that's from the Doe Network. Let's see. Let's see what this is. Like I said, it's been a month since I did this. So this is from storiesoftheunsolved.com. As usual, all the articles, anything I use online is linked in the description box, so feel free to go back and read it at your leisure, share it. But this is from storiesoftheunsolved.com. Let's see if it, I'm gonna have to make it really big. So a little history. Leona was born on May 29th, 1970 in Fort Providence, Northwest Territories. She was a member of a family that included her parents and sisters, and she was constantly surrounded by love while living in this small northern community. Growing up, she was known for her determined and outgoing spirit. She had the ability to light up a room, and her friendly and trustable personality made her very approachable. She was known for being fiercely protective of her siblings and cousins, and she enjoyed picking berries with her mother, Ernestine, and her Aunt Catherine. As a teenager, Leona began to explore what life had to offer outside of Fort Providence, and as such, she began to frequently travel to Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Her sister would eventually move there, and Leona began work as her live-in nanny. It says that she adored her niece, Vanessa. She often sewed toys and outfits the niece was 2 years old at the time. Leona's boyfriend in the late 1980s lived in Edmonton, and she would visit him regularly. Since she did not own a vehicle, she would often hitchhike to Alberta's capital city. However, whether she was in Edmonton or Yellowknife, she would keep in frequent contact with her family, and she always returned to her home in Fort Providence. So it sounded like she was very reliable, even when she was going back and forth between her boyfriend's house and her home. She would always keep in contact. She would always return home, unfortunately, except for the last time when she didn't. It says that the details surrounding Leona's disappearance are foggy. There are only a few details known. For the majority of her family, their last contact with her was in the fall of 1988, when she was 18 years old. She had briefly visited Fort Providence before making the trek to Edmonton, and she had promised her family that she would be back in 1 week's time, but unfortunately she did not return home. According to family members living in Edmonton, their last contact with Leona, who was then 19 years old, was in March of 1989. So I guess the ones in Fort Providence, I'm confused. So because it said, so for the majority of the family, the last contact they had with her was in 1988. But the family's living in Edmonton, I'm assuming that's where she lived. Their last contact was in March of 1989. Her disappearance did not register with the family at first, as it was felt that Leona would eventually return in October of 1999, a year since she was last seen in Fort Providence. And after no contact with her immediate family, her mother did file a missing persons report with the local detachment of the RCMP. Both her family and investigators have very little to go on, unfortunately, in regards to Leona's disappearance. The RCMP says the primary difficulty investigators face is they do not have a solid timeline of her whereabouts in 1989. They don't even know exactly where she went missing from. It could have been somewhere between the boyfriend's house and home, I'm assuming. They do not know what she was wearing at the time. It says at the time that she went missing, she was living a transient lifestyle, which investigators deemed as high risk, which it is. And this is no shade, nothing against the missing, but a transient lifestyle for anybody is just inherently more dangerous, obviously. So as such, her disappearance was deemed suspicious. While substance and alcohol use is suspected due to this, it has not been confirmed. Given her family's sightings of Leona in Edmonton, the RCMP believes that she may have been living on the city streets in the 1990s. However, she has not been seen since the 1989 sightings by her family. At one point, investigators thought that they had tracked her down in Fort McPherson, which is also in the Northwest Territories. Reports that came in saying that someone who resembled Leona was staying at a hotel in that area. But when approached, it was determined that this woman was not Leona, so it was a false alarm, unfortunately. According to Vanessa, which I believe was that her aunt? According to Vanessa, her uncle has said that her aunt, so maybe Vanessa was the niece. According to Vanessa, her uncle has said that her aunt had gone to a party with others. Yeah, Vanessa is the niece. And at some point during the evening, she had left with a group of people. However, this version of events has not been confirmed or substantiated. After Leona's disappearance, her aunt received a letter from Florida, and in this letter was a newspaper clipping with a note that suggested that she used a page. I do not understand this. So her aunt received a letter from Florida. It was a newspaper clipping with a note that suggested that she used the page to help her lose weight, as she had been overweight when she had last been in contact with her niece. So I'm assuming they're referring to Leona. Very strange. So obviously, Leona's aunt was unsure of who had sent it. She passed it on to the authorities. So Leona's health card and social insurance number have not been used since her disappearance. So I'm assuming a social insurance number is kind of like a social security number here in the U.S. In 2018, the RCMP renewed their call for leads in the case by posting call to actions on their social media accounts. As of 2020, Leona's case remained open, and the RCMP does have familial DNA on file should they need it, so that is good. Officers are in regular contact with the family, once again, very good. And the family says they are satisfied with the investigation so far. Always a good thing. In a lot of these cases, unfortunately, we hear lack of the family says there's lack of communication with authorities and things of that nature. But it sounds like in this case, at least as of 2020, RCMP kept in contact with the family. The family was satisfied, happy with the investigation so far. So that's always a good sign. So theories. So the current theory, and once again, this article is from 2020, so about 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, the theory was that Leona met with some sort of foul play, which obviously worst case scenario. Some feel that she may have been picked up by someone with nefarious intentions while hiking around Yellowknife, while others feel that she encountered foul play during her stay in Edmonton. Her aunt worries that someone may have taken advantage of her kind nature. Unfortunately, that happens a lot too. But due to a lack of evidence and leads in the case, all those involved in the investigation, all they can do is speculate, basically, is what they're saying. Speculate, theorize, which is so little to go on. So as of 2020, Leona's mother had unfortunately did pass away. According to the family, she became just very reserved and withdrawn after Leona's disappearance, which is totally understandable, but totally heartbreaking also. So Vanessa, who I believe is the niece, I'm trying to keep everybody straight, was Leona's niece, was an advocate for Canada's inquiry into the nation's missing and murdered Indigenous women. She feels her aunt's case did not receive enough attention, and I'm assuming she means media-wise. I'm just assuming. And as a result, she says there are many unanswered questions. So once again, a little bit more information. Leona was last seen in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada in March of 1989. She was just 19 years old. She is known to have used the aliases Jody Summers and Leona May Summers. Once again, what she was wearing when she was last seen, unknown. At the time of her disappearance, she was 4 feet 6 inches tall with a medium build and weighed around 106 pounds. She has brown to black curly hair and brown eyes. She has a burn scar on her left hand and a circular shaped scar on her upper right cheek. According to dental records, seven of her teeth have received treatment and 5 are absent. Her ears are pierced. Currently, as of 2020, once again, the case is classified as endangered missing. If you have any information regarding the case, you can contact the Fort Providence RCMP detachment at 867-699-1111. Tips can also be submitted anonymously via Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477. So just I mean, all these cases are heartbreaking, but it just seems like Leona, from the description from family and friends, she was just a very kind, loving, kind-hearted person. And unfortunately, if foul play is involved, that one of her family members said that her kind nature, someone may have taken advantage of her kind nature. It's just so heartbreaking. Let me see if I had anything else. Had one more thing bookmarked. See what it is, if it has any additional information. If it will. All right, so this is from CBC News. It is from sometime. It's from sometime. Doesn't say when it is. Anyway, it says Leona Brule was sold outfits and toys for her 2-year-old niece Vanessa when she had a moment free. She was reported missing from Fort Providence, Northwest Territories in March of 1989. Once again, she'd been working as a live-in nanny for a sister and traveling back and forth to Edmonton to visit her boyfriend. So we went through all that. This is just some statements from family. Before Leona disappeared in 1989, the 18-year-old woman was sold outfits and toys for her 2-year-old niece Vanessa when she had a moment free from work as a live-in nanny. Leona's older sister Barb says, quote, she just brightens the room. She's got that personality when she just walked in and you can approach her and talk to her. The details surrounding Leona's disappearance are foggy. Once again, she was working as a nanny for at least 3 months in 1999. Says her sister also knew that she was traveling to Edmonton to visit a boyfriend, but beyond that, they weren't sure exactly what she did with her free time. Vanessa, the niece, says, quote, I remember hearing when I was younger from my mom's brother that she had gone to a party with some people, and that was one of the last places that she had been seen. So obviously the party would be very key. Was she seen talking to anyone? Was she seen leaving with anyone? Was she seen arguing with anyone, male or female? Vanessa goes on to say, she quote, she had gone out with some people and she left the party at some point in the evening with some other people. So she did leave with other people. And after that, she was not seen after that. It would take about a year for her mom to formally report her missing. And RCMP said that there is some evidence that she was on the streets in Edmonton during the early 1990s. Other than that, her family has little evidence to go on. Once again, officers are in touch with the family on a regular basis. But according to Barb, they weren't for many years. It says a recent case of a missing woman being found may have sparked interest. So Barb goes on to say there have been times when one year they thought they traced her to Fort McPherson, and someone said that she looks like her. They approached the woman at the motel. We talked about that earlier. It wasn't her. Officers have taken DNA from the family. So far, there have been no matches. Once again, her health and social insurance number has not been used. Leona's niece, Vanessa, wants a national inquiry. Vanessa says, quote, I was only about 2 when Leona had gone missing, and growing up, I had a lot of questions about where she had gone and what happened. She says, I don't think there was ever a lot of attention brought to it, and inquiries should raise awareness that the rates of Aboriginal women going missing and their deaths is quite high. And unfortunately, we all know that is true. Right, so that was just a little bit of a little tidbit of information and some more interviews with the family. I think that was all I had on Vanessa, or not Vanessa, Leona. Yes, Vanessa's the niece, Leona. Leona Brule, missing since 1989, 88, 89-ish. Just a very sad case. All right, let me get back over here. I see some people have snuck in on me. Let's see. Okay, Lance says that his artist name is The Unmoved Rock. I like that. And some of his music is on Spotify. Excellent. We will check it out. Miss Paula wants to know any suspects not publicly named. Sorry. Once again, my cord's getting tangled up. Not that they've named publicly. I mean, very little information. If it were up to me, in my opinion, my unprofessional, I have nothing to do with police work, but I would definitely, if, you know, who, like I said earlier, who was she saying? She said that she left with people from a party. She came with, I think that it said that she came with a group of people, but she left with a different group of people. So I'd definitely be interested in who she left with. Not saying that they had anything to do with it, but they might have information. You know, I would be asking after you left the party, did Leona stay with you? Did she go off on her own by herself, away from the group? Did she meet somebody, you know, wherever they were going to after the party? Did she come across somebody she knew or maybe didn't know and left with that person? Those are the kind of questions that I would, you know, to me, in my opinion, like I said, my unprofessional opinion, that is the key, is who are the people she left with? Did she stay with them? Where did they go? Did she stay with the group? Did she go off by herself? Did she leave the group at some point to go on her own? It's just we don't have that information. But it's very good questions, Miss Paula. Absolutely. Avery says she's listening while packing. Where are you going, Miss Avery? You going on a trip? I'm telling you that 8 days in, and I hate packing. I think I waited till the day and the night before I left on my 8-day trip to New York to pack. I'm a procrastinator. Anyway, yep, we have some Canadian cases. Lance says, hope you're sharing Canadian cases. Yes, we do have. This one's from Canada. I think I have a couple of more from Canada, or maybe more than that. Mr. Steve told Lance, you're a talented, great voice. I wish you the best. Definitely going to have to check that out. You got praise from the National Treasure. Hey, Frank Meister, good to see you, sir. Please do check out Frank Meister. Always good to have Frank Meister here. Always good to see you. Let's see here. Lance says, is there really a number that indicates too many? One is too many, in my opinion. Are you referring to the number of missing persons or MMIP, Indigenous persons? Yeah, one is, I agree. If that's what you're talking about, one is too many. Absolutely. Good to see you. Oh, what? My video disappeared? Are you talking to me? Did it come back? There's no telling. With my farm signal, there's no telling what'll happen. There's Josh the Posh. We've been missing Josh. How are you doing, Josh? Good to see you, my friend. I know Josh, I think I messaged him on Facebook Messenger at some point to wish him a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year or something. And he said he's had a busy end of the year, as we all have, and but we are glad to see Josh. Please do check out Where Lavender Grows. I'm assuming Josh still has this channel. And when he gets unbusy, I'm sure he's going to be back on doing videos, live streams, whatever the case may be. Yes, Josh says Highway of Tears covers many Canadian missing cases. Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Mustang God. There's a link to Josh's channel. All right, I'm caught up again. Sorry, once again, I feel like I'm about to lose my voice. All right, so let's see who we have next. Let me get a drink. All right. Make this big so I can read it. This is another one from Canada, Lance. Gerald Vincent Whitehead. He's been missing since February 7th, 1982, from Nova Scotia, Canada. At the time he went missing, he was 6'2" and 181 pounds. He's a Caucasian male. He was reported missing by his sister in Halifax, Nova Scotia on February 7th, 1982. It says that he had previously been in a car accident and suffered head injuries that affected his quality of life and caused him to become epileptic and violent without medication. So that's concerning. Gerald went missing from a Halifax rooming house. Excuse me. If you have any information, contact the Halifax Regional Police at 902-490-5333. And it gives the reference case number 1982-33. Let me see if I had anything on him. I don't think I was able to find anything additional for him. But like I said, with a lot of these cases, especially the missing Indigenous, you just can't find a whole lot. But once again, thank you to everybody at Locks of Reunification for making these excellent, fabulous missing posters, and helping bring more attention to these cases. Even we go with what information we have. So it is concerning that it says he suffered the head injuries. He became epileptic and violent without medication. Is unknown apparently if he had his medication with him. It doesn't say. I don't want to assume, but on a lot of these missing persons, a lot of times they go missing without their medication. And he went missing from a Halifax rooming house. So I'm wondering, what is a rooming house? Maybe an apartment, some kind of assisted living. If anybody knows, please let me know. Please let me know. Josh said he had a chaotic end of the year, but he is good. That is good to hear. Thank you, Miss Farah, for being here. She said it was nice to meet all of you tonight. Good night. Thank you, Miss Farah. We're glad you're here. Please, you're welcome back. Absolutely, anytime. Please join us. Good to have you here. All right. So let me mark there. We'll go to the next one since that's all the information. All right. So next we have Angela Meyer. Woo. My eyes are getting older. So Angela has been missing since November 27th, 2010. She was 22 years old when she went missing from Yellowknife. Once again, Yellowknife, that was mentioned in Leona's case. Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, Canada. She is 5 foot 10 inches tall, 231 pounds, Indigenous. She was last seen at her parents' residence on November 27th, 2010 in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. She was on a weekend pass from Stanton Territorial Hospital. So I don't know if that's some kind of mental health hospital. I don't know. And she was under the legal guardianship of her mother. She was taking various medications. She did not take the medications with her when she went missing. So if you have any information, contact the G Division of the RCMP at 867-765-3822. Ivory says her whole body is feeling getting older. I sat down Indian style on the floor earlier and got stuck. Lord, girl, it has been years and years and years, and I don't know how old you are. I'm not going to ask. I'm 54 years old, and I have not been able to sit Indian style or sit anyway on any floor in a long, long time. Many, many years. Oh, Lord. Getting old, it sucks. Getting old is not for the weak, I'm telling you. Anyway. Okay, so Josh says Lee Harvey Oswald, or maybe it's like a hostel. Josh says Lee Harvey Oswald stayed in a rooming house. Well, maybe not a hostel. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Lee Harvey Oswald stayed in a rooming house. I think they were more common years ago in the U.S. Essentially a house with rooms for rent that offer just a bed and wardrobe. Yeah, okay. Bed and wardrobe usually. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you for my brain. My brain's not working. It's not back in the groove of things. Mustang says she just turned 50. I think I started going downhill when I hit 40. When I hit 40, I went up over the hill and just started going down. Anyway, okay, let me see if I had anything on Angela. Turn off my camera for a minute while I'm looking. Let's see, Angela Meyer. Oh, I do. I was able to find an article. And this first article is also from CBC News, which one of the articles about Leona was from. Once again, it doesn't tell what year it's from. So Angela Meyer, 22, loved to be hugged and she loved to talk to people, but she did struggle with schizophrenia, according to her family. So maybe that was said that she was in the care, or her mother had, what did I say? Had almost said possession. Anyway, her mother was entrusted with her care, was responsible for her. So she was last seen in Yellowknife on November 27, 2010. The RCMP is investigating the case, but her family wonders why it took a month for officers to conduct an air search. In 2015, a different officer took over Angela's case. In January 2018, the family spoke about Angela's case at the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Inquiry in Yellowknife, saying that the biggest issue in the North is not having enough support for mental health. And unfortunately, it sounds like in Canada they have, which is getting better here in the U.S., but still, when it comes to missing people or in just mental health issues in general, there is still a little bit of, I said it's getting better. It's better than it was. But there are still, everything can always be improved upon. Let me just put it that way, especially when it comes to treating people and dealing with people and understanding people with mental health issues. All right. So when Kathy Meyer was asked about what her favorite memories of her daughter are, she thought about the question before answering. She said her smile. So many things. She said her smile. She said she was a good baby. She exuded a lot of love. She loved to be hugged. Said she would talk to anybody. She was a people person, and everyone was important to her. So those closest to Angela know that she loved to put on makeup. She loved to do her nails. She loved to color her hair. She loved to buy new clothes. It sounds like a typical young lady. She was what, 22, typical young lady. Said that she had many friends. Her mother says, quote, she was very good. She was a very good and loyal friend. And of course, people drift away when people don't understand her illness. That's what I was saying. In some cases, there is, and I'll say some cases, some people still see or treat mental illness as a stigma, or maybe it's just for anybody who doesn't have a mental health issue, mental illness, or have not been around people who have mental health issues. It's maybe they just don't understand, don't know how to deal with it, don't know. I can see what they're saying, about people drifting away because they just don't understand the illness, don't know how to treat somebody with a mental health illness, things of that nature. So in the early 1990s, Angela started to show signs of schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. And by the time she was missing, she was struggling with the illness. And because of it, Angela took several medications. She gained weight, which she said did bother her. Her mother says that she is haunted by thoughts of her daughter. Her mother questions if someone grabbed her and took off, or if Angela decided that she had enough and just didn't want to be found. So therefore left of her own accord. So regardless, the family says that Angela's disappearance was not a priority to the Yellowknife division of the RCMP. Her mother says, quote, "We feel more could have been done." She goes on to say, "We had friends here organize a search right after Christmas in January, and that's when the RCMP went out with a helicopter. The RCMP K9 unit also went out searching." Her mother says, quote, "A lot of times when hunters go missing up here, there's a search and rescue sent out right away." She says, quote, "I don't know why they felt that she was any different." And I agree with her mom. I mean, you would think that, a young lady with a mental health issue would be priority, be kind of higher up on the priority list to look for. So it says at first, RCMP treated Angela as a runaway. Here we go again, runaway, because she went missing 3 times before she vanished for the last time. But the family insists that she was not on the run. She was not a runaway this time. Since her November 2010 disappearance, RCMP have been in contact with them approximately 5 times. So like I said, it doesn't tell on this website, it doesn't tell when these articles are written. But I'm assuming around 2010, and at that time it's let me read it to make sure that the RCMP had only been in touch with the family 5 times. And her mother said that the family initiated a couple of those contacts instead of the RCMP. So according to her, RCMP contacted families shortly before February 2015 to let them know a different officer was taking over Angela's case. Despite her feelings about how the case was handled by authorities, Meyer says that she can rely on family and friends for help when it comes to searching for her daughter and communicating with the media. When it comes to a federal inquiry into Canada's missing and murdered Indigenous girls and women, Meyer says that she has mixed feelings about that. She says, quote, "The story has to be told. I understand that for all the other missing and murdered Aboriginal girls and women, then I go beyond that and think about all the missing people." She goes on to say, quote, "The other side of me, I wonder what other inquiries, what has become of them? Has anything been done?" Thinking about her daughter, nearly 5 years after she disappeared, Meyer remembers the good despite the pain. She proudly says, even though her daughter was deeply affected by mental illness, she was named Athlete of the Year during the Yellowknife Special Olympics in spring of 2010 before she went missing. So we had the one case, we had Leona's case where, and I think it was, I don't know if it was the Yellowknife, maybe it was the Edmonton, the family, was satisfied with with the communication with the authorities, with what they were doing. In this case, it sounds like it might have been a little bit different. This Angela's family thought maybe more could be done. But yeah, treating her like and absolutely not downing law enforcement. It's a case by case basis. If whatever case we're looking at, if the law enforcement is doing a good job, we give them kudos. If we kind of think maybe, according to what family says, maybe a little bit more could be done, or if it's very obvious that things aren't being done, we'll call them out. So it sounds like in this case, in Angela's case, her family thinks that a little bit more could have been done. But once again, we're not there. We're not in their shoes. We're not in the family's shoes. We're not in law enforcement's shoes. So, our job is to just get the information out, But anyway, another obviously very sad story. Let me see if I had anything else. Maybe one more article about her mental health. Oh, I'm sweating now. All right, so this is from aptnnews.com. It's from January of 2018. Lack of mental health care a factor in missing woman's disappearance, according to the family. So when Angela Meyer disappeared in 2010, she was days from getting the mental health care she needed that was not available in the Northwest Territory. Her father, Dean, said, quote, "She actually was looking forward to it, to getting help for a mental health condition." Dean told the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls in Yellowknife he does not think the pending trip was a factor in her disappearance from Yellowknife, but he'll never know because Angela, who was diagnosed with schizophrenia as a teen, was never seen again. Her father said, quote, "In 1 week, she was booked to go down south," get the ad out of the way, because they could not look after her here anymore. The Meyers were the first family to testify publicly in Yellowknife, the ninth stop for the commission since it began a 2-year term in 2017. Her mother, Kathy, says, "It has been 8 Christmases without her. I miss her very much, even now." So once again, it was November 27th when Angela, 22, stepped out on the deck of the family home to have a cigarette. She was out of the psychiatric unit of the hospital on a day pass, so she was at home when she went missing. Her mom said that she was a bright, popular girl who saw her friends drop away after being diagnosed with the mental illness when she was around 15 years old. Kathy said through the stigma, I suppose, she said, through the stigma, I suppose, the family was at a loss to help the daughter they loved so much and could not find services for her. Kathy said there really was nothing that could be done for her. We have many in our community that have this. Her mother said there were violent outbursts. There was a lot of frustration and anger. Kathy said Angela gained weight from the medication. She had developed diabetes. Dean, her father, said that there were always medical appointments with doctors that cycled through the north. One doctor, he said, suggested that Angela was faking her symptoms. Her father says, quote, sometimes it was so heartbreaking to go with her. She went through so many doctors and psychiatrists. They all changed her medications. Now, I'm no expert on schizophrenia, that type of whatever medications you take for that. I do take medications for anxiety, and before they finally got mine right, I know they, tried different ones, and just even the switching of medications can make things, all bonkers until you get the right medications, the right dosages, things of that nature. So it wasn't until Angela reached adulthood that she received concrete help, her family said, and she stopped bouncing between the hospital and group homes. The Northern Territory does not have a mental health or addictions treatment facility, and it sends its patients to centers in Edmonton and other southern cities, and that was where Angela was heading before she went missing. Kathy says she checked on Angela while she was still on the deck, and then moments later she was gone. So 1 minute she was out on the deck having a cigarette, and then the next minute she was just gone. Her mom called the hospital, where a nurse told her to wait until calling the police. Advised Kathy said that she still regrets. She said it was 1 a.m. She said, wait a few hours, maybe she'll come back. At 1 a.m., I don't know. Maybe if it was during, this is just my opinion, maybe it was during the daytime. Maybe they thought, oh, she just went out to take a walk and she'll be back. But 1 a.m. in the morning, I don't know. But by the morning, Kathy said that she went to the RCMP, who the family said did do a house-to-house search. Dean, her father, said they did a fantastic job. You guys have probably heard a lot of horror stories about the RCMP doing investigations. He said that's not our case. I said you won't hear any RCMP bashing. A coat believed to be Angela's was found in the bush, but Dean said that RCMP refused to test it for DNA to confirm that it was Angela's. He said that he offered to pay for a private lab to do the testing, but police warned him the results would not be admissible in court. It might not be admissible in court, but I mean, it would be helpful to know. I mean, if the family couldn't look at the coat and say, yeah, that is Angela's, I mean, and I understand our DNA tests cost money, they take time. But I mean, it would be helpful if they had DNA just to see if it was or was not her coat. Just my opinion, once again. So Dean said he searched the area where the coat was found many times, as did police and teams of volunteers, once numbering as high as 250 people. So at least they had a lot of people searching. Dean, the father, said they believe that she had taken off the jacket and walked away and passed away of hypothermia. He says, I personally walk that area every day, all winter, all spring, all summer. So apparently he didn't. So apparently, I mean, I don't know what kind of terrain it was. Was it heavily wooded? Was there tall grass? If she had walked out there and passed away of hypothermia. Oh, yeah. So it was during the winter time. I don't know if there would have been snow. I'm assuming, just assuming. Possible if she went out there and passed away of hypothermia, it would have been hard to find her. But he said he searched winter, spring, summer. It is hard to find people in heavily wooded areas or areas with high grass, but you would think they would have found something. But then again, not always, we know. Still, Angela has never been found. The family says that it is like living with a ghost. Kathy, her mother says, quote, "It's just a big hole in our hearts that she's not here. I just wish we could find her." Commissioner Kajak Robinson urged anyone with information about the case to come forward. Something no commissioner has done yet at these hearings that they were talking about. Her mother says, "If you know something, speak out." Absolutely. We always say, if you know something, say something. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. Robertson explained that violence against women and girls isn't only done with fists, but can come through a denial of fundamental rights. Absolutely. And apparently that was the end of the article. Yeah. Yeah. Abuse is not just, like I said, with fist or whatever. It can be words. It can be coercion and control. Just any number of things. Right. I think that is all I had on Angela. All right. Let me get back into your comments for a second. Let me get another drink. Lance says the RCMP in Canada keeps information to themselves and share very little with the public, especially not the family. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that idea, but I mean, but they do that a lot here in the States too. I mean, and understandably, we all understand that in cases there is information that they do keep to themselves for obvious reasons. It might be something that only the offender would know about, things of that nature. So we know that they don't give out all the information. But on the other hand, I think now this case is from 2010, so 15 years. In my opinion, in older cold cases, and this is just my opinion, in cold cases, say at least maybe starting at 10 years on, if there is information that, that would, that's some information, they should release more information. That's just my opinion. I mean, if they have, because a lot of times they may have a suspect or a person of interest that they don't release publicly. After 10, 15, 20 years, you might don't give a name. If you don't want to give a name, give a description. Hey, did you see a person that looks like that fits this description? Maybe I don't know. Let me go. Obviously let me know what you guys think in the chat, or if you're watching replay, you leave a comment. If they now, if it's like critical evidence, but then again, like maybe they found something that might have belonged. If say somebody was kidnapped and the offender left something behind, or something that they think could have belonged to offender that was left behind, or something of that nature, maybe keep that to yourself. But then again, after 10, 15, 20 years, even something like that, once again, I'm not a professional, maybe just give something out, give a little bit more out. The colder the case goes, just release more information. Once again, just my opinion alone. Absolutely. I always say, in my opinion, all missing persons are considered suspicious unless and until they get in contact with family or law enforcement and say, "Hey, I'm okay. I'm just need a little break. I wanted to go away and start a new life." Yes, Josh says pill management is such a serious issue, even with the right meds. Mismanagement plays a role in many missing cases. Exactly. Yeah, Miss Barbara says, stay home. Nothing good happens after midnight. Exactly. Yeah, like I said, because it said Angela, it was what, about 1 a.m. or so when she went out on the deck to have the cigarette and then just walked off, apparently. You would assume she just walked off. And, they called her parents called the police, said, oh, just wait a few hours. This is just my opinion. Maybe in the daytime, if that would have happened, yeah, maybe she would just walk. I was going to go take a walk, and maybe something, either she had an accident, something happened, and they just haven't found her, or something nefarious happened. But somebody just wandering off in the middle of the night at 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. To me, I would. Well, they did report it immediately, but if I was law enforcement, I would definitely have started looking. Josh says, "Is it a rural area?" I I don't know. Lance may know the answer to that question if he's still here. I'm not that familiar with Canada. That's why I was asking or wondering, if she did just wander off of her own, what kind of, was it a wooded area? What was there tall grass? Was it in what I call out the country, which is a rural area? Was it in a close to a town, other houses around? I just don't know the answer to that question. I wish I did. That'd be good to know. Uh, Miss Paula says sometimes the best things happen at midnight, like a ball drop. Absolutely. Yeah, when went on our trip, our New York City trip, of course, we went down to Times Square. Um, they had the ball up, so we got to see the ball. Of course, we didn't get to see it drop because we were back home way before New Year's Eve. But Lord, you cannot, as many people as was there, you cannot pay me to be in Times Square or anywhere in New York City. And we stayed in the hotel we were staying at. It was in Midtown Manhattan. You cannot pay me to be there on New Year's Eve. Too peoply for me. Oh, I'll do like I did and just sit at home and watch it on TV. That is my idea of a New Year's Eve party. Okay, back to business. Let's see who we have next. How long will we be going? Oh, we only been going an hour and a half. We're good. All right, so next we have Jacob C. Burch. We're coming back to the States for a minute for this one. He's been missing since June 4th, 2023. So fairly recently from St. Louis, Missouri. 38 years old when he went missing. 5'9" tall, 180-pound white male. He was last seen on June 4th, 2020 in the 4300 block of South Compton in St. Louis. He has not been seen or heard from since. Few details are available in this case. If you have any information, please contact the St. Louis Metro PD at 314-231-1212. Night, Josh. Josh says, good night, all. Where Lavender Grows will be back in a couple of weeks with a new time and day. I'm so excited to hear that. Josh does, please go check out while you're waiting for him to come back in a couple of weeks. Please go to his channel where Lavender Grows and get caught up with all the lives that he's done already. They are fantastic. Josh does such a wonderful job. Josh is a good guy. And hopefully he will allow me to come and be a guest again at some point on his show. It would be an honor for me. We had so much, I won't say fun. We had a very good time when I was on. He invited me on and we did some, what was it? Cases from Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, down in that area. Very good. I had a very good time. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely sad. Josh is so sad. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, let me see if I had anything on Jacob. Actually, there was a Trolley Project page for him. I don't know if it gives any additional information. We will see. Once again, if my computer will go. Same old problems in 2026. Okay, so once again, Jacob Burch, missing since June 4th, 2022 or 23, from St. Louis, Missouri. A white male, 38 years old. When he went missing, he would be 41 years old as of 2026. I have to remember to say 26 instead of 25. A white male, brown hair, blue eyes. Let's see. Last seen in St. Louis. Never been heard from again. A few details. And once again, you can call the St. Louis Metro PD at 314-231-1212. So frustrating, but we'll take what we can get, as always. All right, I'll get that page loading. Let's see who we have next. Hey, Butterfly Kisses. Good to see you, my dear. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Josh, before he left, he has been a member for 15 months. 15 months might not need the pacifier anymore. Excellent. Thank you, Josh, for your continued support. So we will get to put another cow in the pasture. Oh. Thank you so much, my friend, for your continued support. Very much appreciated. Absolutely. Good. We're glad to have Butterfly Kisses here. All right. So since that's all we had on Jacob, let's see who we have next. We're going back to another cold case. This is Phyllis Maue. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Maue. She's been missing since June 25th, 1982, from Norwood, Ohio. She was just 29 years old when she went missing. 5'4" tall, 120 pounds, white female. She was last seen getting into a van driven by her lover, Ray Phillip, on June 25th, 1982. Apparently, she had began an affair with him when her marriage started to collapse. But Phyllis wanted to end it due to Phillip's violent temper. So you know what I'm going to say, or not say, you know what I'm thinking. So Phyllis was never seen again. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance. And Ray Phillip, her boyfriend / lover, apparently passed away in a car accident in 2004. So if he had anything to do with her disappearance, he took it to the grave with him. So if you have any information regarding Phyllis's case, contact the Norwood Police Department at 513-458-4521. All right, and I did have, let me see what I had. We've got the Doe Network information for Phyllis. Let's see if it has anything. Missing since June 25th, 82. Last seen Cincinnati, Hamilton County, Ohio, 29 years old when she went missing. White female, 5'4", 120 pounds. Red auburn, shoulder length hair, brown eyes. She does have a C-section scar. Dentals unknown, fingerprints unknown, DNA unknown. Unknown clothing, jewelry, or personal items. So circumstances of disappearance. At the time of her disappearance, Phyllis was having an affair. She stated to her friends that she was afraid of her boyfriend or her lover, as they call it, violent temper, and she was going to end the affair, and that she was going to meet him on June 25th, 1982 to break it off. A friend witnessed Phyllis getting into a light brown Chevy van 1 block from her home. This was the last time that she was seen. Okay, so Phyllis's husband received a letter from her, or maybe not her, postmarked June 26th in Cincinnati. The letter stated that Phyllis was going to New York City with her lover. A handwriting expert determined Phyllis had written the letter under duress, but she had not addressed the envelope. So, make of that what you will. I know I have my thoughts on what happened. So Phyllis did write the letter, but it was under duress. In other words, somebody was most likely making her write the letter. She did not address the envelope. She left behind all her clothes, personal items. She never picked up her last paycheck. To me, that's always 3 of the dead giveaways right there. When questioned by the police, Phyllis's lover denied seeing her the week she disappeared. Once again, he passed away in a car wreck in 2004. Foul play is suspected in her case. So that's interesting about the letter. Let's see if I had anything else. See what this is. So this is from tapatalk.com. And it is from February 2006. I think maybe this has to do with her affair with this man. Police say missing woman may be tied to Fairfield man. For nearly 24 years, Phyllis Maue, a Norwood mother, has been considered a missing person. But now Norwood police are saying foul play is possible and that they may begin digging in several places looking for her body. At the center of the investigation, police say, is a former Fairfield man, Ray Phillips, who passed away in a car accident. Maue disappeared in June 1982, leaving behind her husband, Greg, their then 11-year-old son, Gregory, a paycheck she never picked up, all her clothes. Sorry, these dang ads keep popping up. She left behind the goodbye letter that holds curious clues. No, stop it. Just cut the article. There you go. Her husband, Greg, said, quote, she would never have left him behind, talking about their 11-year-old son. She would have taken him with her if she was going to leave. She was 12 when her mother walked away. She knew what it was like not to have a mother. I don't see her ever willingly leaving him to not have a mother. But Maue's marriage was on the rocks. Her husband had received a nude photo of her in the mail, and friends told police that she was having an affair with Phillips. Maue told friends that she wanted to end the affair and that she was going to meet Phillips on June 25th, 1982 to break it off. In statements to police, her friends say that Phyllis was afraid of Phillips' violent temper. One friend told police, once again, they saw Phyllis getting into his van at around 2 p.m. on January 25th, 1982. That was the last time she was seen alive, according to police. Then the letter arrived, a letter from Phyllis to her husband saying, quote, I'm going to New York with a guy I met a few months ago. I think I love him. Take care of Gregory. I love him so much. End quote. So the handwriting expert determined that, once again, Phyllis did write the letter, but under stress. And the expert said that Phyllis did not address the letter and that Phillips likely did. Phillips denied seeing Phyllis the day that she vanished, and police never charged him with any crime. Philip's family did not want to be interviewed for this story, saying only that they believe that he was innocent and was not involved. But Norwood police say they have new reason to believe that Maue may have been buried somewhere nearby, and they have reopened the case. They say they hope that someone too afraid to come forward years ago now will give them new information. So that is, if there's one good thing or positive thing about cold cases, is as the years go by, people grow, like I say, less afraid to come forward. Maybe if they have a relationship with somebody that they think could be responsible, that relationship, they grow apart from that person. One of the people, they move away from each other, things like that, that make them not, make them more willing to come forward. Or, someone they thought might have done something, or did something, may have passed away, such as Phyllis's boyfriend, lover, passed away. Sometimes that will make people come forward. All right, let me see if I had anything else. I think that was it that I had on Phyllis. All right, let me get that article loading. Let's see. Josh said, I got to visit Ruth Payne's house in Irving, Texas in September last year. She hosted Lee. Oh, you're talking about Lee Harvey also? Lee and Marina before Lee moved into their rooming house. Oh, wow. That was fascinating. I've always been, once again, I'm stuck. Don't get me started on the whole JFK thing. I have gone down so many rabbit holes with JFK. But that is very interesting. Very interesting. I'm envious. Yep. Definitely suspicious. Especially with Phyllis's case. I have my ideas. Oh, I'm behind. Maybe that was on the I was behind. There's my, let's see. Oh, did I miss that? Josh also gifted one Southern Gal membership. Thank you, sir. That was very kind of you, sir. I'm sorry I missed that earlier. I don't know how. Once again, everything jumped. Thank you so much, Josh, my friend. Oh, did Doodle get it? Yay! Is Doodle still here? Doodle checked in earlier. I'm glad Doodle got it. Oh, yep, Doodle's here, or she was here. Absolutely. Hey, Braddy. Good to see you, ma'am. Please check out Stolen Spirits MMIWG. Somebody's probably already thrown the link in. They are on Facebook and they are on YouTube. Just look up Stolen Spirits, search Stolen Spirits MMIWG, and it will come up. Okay, Lance said he's still here, but only knows about Alberta and BC. Is that British Columbia? I'm just guessing. But it's good to have Miss Brady here. Lance says he's never been way up north. Yeah, I've never been anywhere in Canada, so the furthest north I've been is Minnesota. That's the furthest north I've been. You're very welcome, ma'am. All right. So that was Phyllis. Let's see who we have next. Can I make my screen bigger so I can? There we go. Oh, too big. So this is Parley Pate. We have another cold case. She's been missing since February 9th, 1993 from Raleigh, North Carolina. She was 33 years old. Well, she went missing. Sorry, I feel like things are wonky here. Time she went missing, she was 5'7" tall, 140 pounds, a white female. There are a few details available in her case, unfortunately. So if you have any information, contact the Raleigh Police Department at 919-996-3335. Let me see if I had... so I have her Doe Network information. Let's see if it gives any other... says that she has a scar on her forehead and her abdomen. Brown hair, hazel eyes, 5'7", 140 to 160, white female. Dental's not available. Fingerprints are available. DNA unknown. Unknown clothing, jewelry, or personal items when she went missing. So she was last known to be residing in Raleigh. She was reported missing by her sister in 1994. It says she does have a history of prostitution and substance use. Once again, you can contact the agency at 919-996-1027. Let's see if I had anything else. Let me see. I brought up her web sleuths page, so I don't know if I found anything interesting on there or not, but I will look and see. Let's see. In 2013, somebody said her name might sound familiar to some, but she is on the rule out list a lot on NamUs. So that means she's been ruled out as not being a lot of Jane Does. Somebody posted in August 2013. Her maiden name is Lemley, Lemley, and it says, interestingly, in 1991, she was interviewed as a witness in a homicide case that came to trial around the time that she disappeared. Interesting. It says she was not a witness during the trial as she could not be located. Could be something, could be nothing, but it just seems a little coinky-dinky, and I don't believe in coinky-dinks. But once again, we don't know. It might be something, could be nothing. It says she was born in Texas. Her nickname in 1991 was Tex. All these links. That's one thing. Most of the links to articles and stuff on web sleuths, you click on it and page can't be found. Okay, so on August of 2013, somebody, or maybe the same person, the same poster has a link to an article or transcript. It said transcript of the trial. She could not be found for, this person says, I'm in no way implying that her going missing had to do with this trial, and this person, this gentleman who is on trial, was proved innocent of the homicide later. She said, but they said, but it's a decent way of tracking any information about her. So she's disappeared by April 1993. And I'm assuming February 9th, 1993 was when she had last concrete contact with her family. She was arrested and served time in 1992, but was already she was out by 1993. Says in 1994 she was listed as living on Daytona Drive in Raleigh, North Carolina. No, that's on Facebook. Facebook will never load on my laptop for some reason. Oh, she has a Charlie Project page. No, doesn't have any additional information there. Somebody posted as far as identifiers. It says dental's not available, DNA unknown. The person said, I assume, hope at least familial DNA is on file. Don't know if it is or not. All right, that's everything from the Web Sleuths page. So, once again, not a whole lot of information. All right, let's see who we have next. All right. Once again, I apologize for my voice. Thank you, Mustang. There is the link to Stolen Spirits MMIWG YouTube. Please check them out if you haven't already. And if you have already, check them out again. Hey, Mark, good to see you. I think you got were gifted one of the memberships that who was it? Far gifted 5 memberships, I believe, and Josh gifted 1 membership. I think you were one of the 5 that got the membership. One of the memberships that Far gifted. So congratulations to you. Oh goodness, I lost my chat. There it is. Okay. It's good to have you here, Mark. Good to see you. All right. Okay, so that was Parley. Next we have a more recent one. This is Gary Grant Bowman. He's been missing since January 1st, 2022, from Caney, Texas. He was 63 years old when he went missing. A white male, 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. He left his residence in January of 2022, walking in an unknown direction. He has not been seen or heard from since. Few details are available in his case. So if you have any information, you can contact the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office at 936-760-5800. Let me see if I don't think I was able to find any other information on. No, it wasn't. No other information I was able to find on Mr. Bowman. Once again, missing since January 1st, 2022 from Caney, Texas. Left his house walking in unknown direction. See, those are the ones that just the kind that keep me up at night. I mean, you know, somebody he just got, was he walking to somewhere, you know, was there a grocery store, a convenience store, a gas station in walking distance? He was just going to walk down, pick something up, walk home. Was it just out taking a stroll and something happened, whether it be accident or foul play? I mean, people don't just vanish into thin air. But anyway, it's just so sad. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Next we have Cheryl DeBalso. She has been missing since May 1st, 2004 from Reading, Pennsylvania. She was 37 years old when she went missing. White female, 4 foot 10 inches tall, 120 pounds. She last had family contact in early May of 2004. Contact was lost with her in the following weeks. She did not attend a family event during the third week of May of 2004. The family has not had any contact with her since this time frame. She was in an abusive relationship during the time of her disappearance. Always a big red flag. She had been physically assaulted by it just says by him. I don't know if it was a boyfriend, husband. I don't think it said. Just says that she was in an abusive relationship. So either boyfriend, husband, partner, or whatever. She had been physically assaulted in August of 2003. So if you have any information, contact Hazleton City Police Department at 570-459-4940. And I think I did have, let me see what I had. I think I just had, she's got a web sleuth thread. Let me see if there's anything pertinent in here. It's the same information. Apparently she was listed as male in NamUs at one point, but somebody wrote in and had that corrected. Let's see if this article will come up. No, it's behind a paywall, of course. She has a Grateful Dead tattoo on her calf. It's the bear. Females familiar with the Grateful Dead bear logo thing that they have. She has that on her calf. Very identifying. I see it on that page. So not a whole lot of information, once again, unfortunately, in this case. Make sure there's not anything else. Okay. Let me see. Hey, Gibbo is here, and Gibbo has been a member for 3 months. Thank you, sir, for your continued support. Once again, he says do all the things, hit the like, share, subscribe. So we'll put another cow in the pasture. I feel like I can't get enough drink to keep my throat from drying out. Go back to comments. I keep forgetting where I'm going here. Thank you so much, Gibbo. Good to have you here. Thank you for your continued support once again. All right. So next we have John Wesley Smith. He's been missing since January 31st, 2016 from Tallahassee, Florida. He was 47 years old when he went missing. A black male, 5 foot 8 inches tall, 162 pounds. He last spoke to family on January 29th, 2016, and was last known to be residing in Tallahassee. He has missed several appointments. No activity has been observed on his bank accounts. It is known that John checked into the Tallahassee Memorial Hospital emergency room on January 31st, 2016. After that, I'm assuming he left the hospital. After that, he has not been seen or heard from again. If you have any information, contact the Leon County Sheriff's Office at 850-606-3300. And I think, let's see what we have on him. So this is from WCTV.com. I think it's just basic information, probably when he went missing. The Leon County Sheriff's Office is requesting assistance in locating 47-year-old John Wesley Smith. He was last seen at the beginning of February 2016 at the Tallahassee Memorial Hospital emergency room. He was last seen wearing jeans and a jacket. It says he typically wears glasses and carries a blue book bag. He is homeless and may possibly be frequenting the Kearney Center area. If you have any information regarding his location, please contact the Leon County Sheriff's Office at 850-606-3300. Let me see if I had anything else. I don't think I had anything else. Oh, that was all I had. Get that one going. Okay. Right. So unfortunately, that is all the information we have on Mr. Smith. Next, we have Wilsa Moreno. It's another cold case. She's been missing since November 24th, 1992 from Queens, New York. She was 43 years old. Excuse me. 43 years old when she went missing, 4 foot 11 inches tall, 95 pounds, a Hispanic female. She was last seen wearing a gray coat, blue jeans, and sneakers. So if you have any information, contact the New York City PD Missing Persons Unit or Squad at 212-694-7781. I do believe I have information. I have the Charlie Project, which doesn't really have a whole lot more information. It does say her left pinky finger is crooked. Black hair, brown eyes, known wearing a long gray coat with pink trim and white sneakers. I think I have another article. Or maybe her donut. I have her Doe Network information. No, that's not the right one. Hold on. Wrong one. Okay, I did the Charlie Project. Hold on. I confused myself. Maybe a web sleuth thread. Let's see if there's anything pertinent on here. I don't see. Once again, left pinky is crooked. Long gray coat with pink trim and white sneakers. So nothing useful there. Nothing else useful there. So I think that is all. Okay, so once again, Miss Moreno, missing since November 24th, 1992 from Queens, New York. Any information, call 212-694-7781. Right. Next, unfortunately, we do not even have a picture for this one. So Ronnie Joe Popejoy has been missing since January 7th, 1992 from Odessa, Texas. He was 31 years old when he went missing, 6 feet tall, 140 pound, white male. So a brother of Ronnie reported him missing November 3rd, 2025. So just recently. So apparently he was last seen in January 7th, around January 1992. So it says a brother of Ronnie Joe Popejoy reported him missing November 3rd, 2025. Family reports the last contact they had with him was between 1991 and 1993 when he was transported by family to Harrison, Arkansas, from Green Fork. So he's transported to Harrison, Arkansas from Green Forest, Arkansas. His last confirmed sighting was in Odessa, Texas, January 7th, 1992, after contact with law enforcement in Texas. And then his brother officially reported him missing November 3rd, 2025. So if you have any information, contact the Carroll County Sheriff's Office at 870-423-2901. I don't know if that's Arkansas or Texas. I know 870 is Arkansas has an 870 area code, but Texas could have one too. And Arkansas has a Carroll County, but once again, Texas could have a Carroll County also. At any rate, so I had his name as page bookmarked, but it said the requested page could not be found. Don't know if that means anything or not. And I think that is the only thing that I could find on him. Yep. So that is all the information we have. Unfortunately, we do not even have a picture. We have a name, we have a description. That's what we'll go with. It's better than nothing. All right, so next we have get it bigger so I can see it. France Morgan Hughes. She has been missing since June 27th, 1987 from Aventura, Florida. She was just 27 years old when she went missing. She is a white female, 5'3" tall, 110 pounds. She was last seen in the 3300 block of North Country Club Drive in Aventura, Florida on July 6, 1987. In 1988, her car was located. So they located her car around 2 years later, or a year later. Have not located her. She has not been seen since. And I think I have her Charley Project information. So once again, missing since July 6, 1987 from Aventura, Florida, white female, 45 years old. That says 45 years old. Let me make sure I have the right one. Okay. Charley, of course, Charley Project could be wrong. Charley Project says she was 45. 5'3", 110 to 120 pounds, wearing possibly homemade costume jewelry. Her vehicle, which was found, it was a light metallic blue or gray 1983 Dodge Aries. It was found. Blonde hair, hazel eyes, ears pierced. The only other information the Charley Project has is, so she was last seen in the 3300 block of North Country Club Drive on July 6, 1987. She was known to frequent the Miami Beach and Hallandale Beach area, as well as Aventura. Let's see if I had anything else. Nope. So that is all the information we have on Miss Hughes. Once again, if you have any information, call the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office at 305-715-3300. Let's see. Lisa just checking in again. She said, sorry, work was busy. That's fine. I understand. We understand, ma'am. Mustang says, oh, yeah. Says Indiana has a Carroll County. Most definitely. All right. I feel like I'm losing my voice. All right. I think we just got a couple more. So this isn't really out. This might be the oldest one. This is Raymond. I'm sorry, I'm moving around a lot, but I was lifting a lot of heavy packs of water today, and I'm feeling it. Okay, so this is Raymond Harris. He's been missing since November 26, 1971, from Omaha, Nebraska. He was just 20 years old when he went missing. He's a white male. 5 foot 11 inches tall, 135 pounds. And I believe I have his Charlie Project information. So it says that Raymond may have been suffering from depression and or anxiety in 1971. He was discharged from military service on medical grounds prior to his disappearance. He has a scar over his right eye and chickenpox scars on his face. He has a tattoo of a dagger and a snake on his forearm and several other tattoos elsewhere on his body. He smoked Lucky Strike cigarettes and habitually bit his nails. He has a lazy right eye. His nickname is Ray, and he may go by his middle name Dale, and he may use the last name Sudac, Sudac, and or Merkert, Merkert, and he has previously fractured his leg. So Raymond and his wife of 1 month, Mary Sudac Harris, told his sister that they would be traveling to her Des Moines, Iowa residence on November 26, 1971. Raymond and Mary lived with Raymond's father at a residence in the 600 block of South 27th Street in Omaha at the time. This gets kind of confusing, so I'm trying to keep up here. It has been established that the couple had a stormy relationship with Raymond's father. So both he and his wife had a stormy relationship with his father, and Raymond informed his sister that he and his wife planned to move out of his father's home, I guess due to the stormy relationship, whatever was going on. So they never arrived. They never arrived at his sister's home and have not been heard from again. So I'm assuming both of them, he and his wife. Their vehicle, which is a green 4-door 1970s model Chevy, also has never been located. Let's see if it tells. Just says green 4-door 1970s model Chevrolet. It was snowing heavily in the area the night that Raymond and Mary vanished, but searches of the region produced no evidence regarding a possible accident or foul play. So they had, no signs of an accident or foul play. Raymond's sister was contacted by his wife's family, so Mary's family, trying to keep it straight. In 1993, 22 years after the couple had last been seen. So her family, Mary's family, contacted Raymond's sister 22 years after Raymond and Mary were last seen. So this is the interest. Now it's starting to come back to me now as I'm reading this. They inquired as to Raymond's whereabouts, but not Mary's, prompting speculation that Mary's family was aware that possibly they're just speculating that Mary's family, maybe that Mary was alive. Mary's family knew where Mary was, but either didn't know or didn't want to say where Raymond was, or that they were at least aware of Mary's location and that she was okay. But this theory obviously has not been confirmed, so take it with a grain of salt. So they say it is possible that Raymond and Mary chose to disappear of their own accord due to these family problems with Raymond's father. No evidence has been discovered to suggest foul play was involved in their cases. Raymond's father, who they were having a problem with, is now deceased. He was never considered a suspect in their disappearance, which remains unsolved. And Raymond was mistakenly listed as found in 2005. So I don't know how you mistakenly, I mean, I can see mistakes happen, but he was mistakenly listed as found. The information was untrue. He is still missing, obviously. Photos and vital stats for Mary are not available. So if you have any information, you can call the Omaha Police Department at 402-444-5656. So very interesting. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. This part about Mary's family contacted Raymond's sister in 1993, 22 years after they went missing. After Raymond and Mary went missing, they inquired as to Raymond's whereabouts, but not Mary's. So this prompted speculation, I'm assuming by Raymond's family, that Mary's family was aware of Mary's location, possibly. Because why wouldn't they ask, have you seen Raymond and have you seen Mary? Now, once again, none of this theory or whatever has not been confirmed. So it's just very interesting, very interesting. All right, let me see. Let's see what this is. Okay, so this is from, I use this sometimes, it's from a site called Whereabouts Still Unknown. It's kind of a blog type thing that someone does about missing persons cases. Raymond Dale Harris, age 20, was last seen in Omaha, Nebraska on November 26, 1971. Raymond married Mary Sudak in Douglas County, Nebraska on October 2nd, 1971. Which is just 2 months prior to Raymond's or both of their disappearances. The couple lived with Raymond's father in Omaha. Once again, the living arrangements were reportedly not going well, and they decided to move out of his father's home. Once again, Raymond told his sister that they would be going to her home in Des Moines. Once again, they were driving the 1970s model green four-door Chevy, which has not been found. So with the car not being found, I would lean toward, and this is just my opinion, I would lean more towards they had some kind of accident or got lost, maybe ended up in some water. I mean, because if you were thinking if they would just have ran into a snowbank and couldn't get out and succumbed to hypothermia, that when everything thawed out, they would have been found. But now if they would have went into a body of water, we all know it's hard to find vehicles and people in water. It'd be interesting to know on the route that they were taking if there were any bodies of water around that area, which I'm sure, I would hope that if there are bodies of water on the route that they would have been traveling, that there would have been at least the cursory searches done to see if a car or any remains were found. Just my thoughts. So Raymond has never been heard from again. It says there was heavy snow in the area on the night they left, but searches of the area turned up no evidence of an accident. And once again, does that take into account water, if there was water around? So this person writes, it was initially believed that both Raymond and Mary were missing, but over time, some occurrences have brought that theory into question. So once again, in 1993, 22 years after they were last seen, Raymond's sister was contacted by a member of Mary's family. The caller inquired about Raymond's whereabouts, but not about Mary's, which caused her to wonder if Mary's whereabouts were known to Mary's family. So additionally, this is a little bit of information. Raymond's family later learned that Mary Teresa Sudak Harris, who I'm assuming they're implying was the Mary that went missing, applied for a Social Security card in January of 1972. So it was either her or somebody using her name is my two options. I mean, so it's been said that Raymond may have suffered from anxiety and or depression. And once again, he had been discharged from the military on medical grounds. So it says the investigation into Raymond's disappearance has resulted in some unfortunate circumstances. The case did change hands several times due to retirements from the police department. The file on Raymond's disappearance was lost, and he was mistakenly reported as found in 2005. Raymond's sister has submitted DNA, but has been unable to find out what, if anything, was done with the DNA. Was it submitted, to be tested wherever you submit it to be tested against John Doe's? He is not listed in NamUs. It is unknown whether law enforcement has attempted to contact Mary or her family to see what they know about Raymond, but it does not appear that any contact has ever been made with Mary's family since he reportedly left Omaha with Mary in November of 1971. Once again, they mention that Mary or somebody using that name applied for a Social Security card in January of 1972. So this person asked, what location did she use as an address when applying for the Social Security card? So just the person who's writing this blog says, since Mary's family did not contact Raymond's sister inquiring about his but not Mary's whereabouts until 1993, would this imply that they knew where Raymond was until shortly before they contacted her? So they're saying maybe something nefarious did happen. Maybe Mary did something. I'm just what they're implying. Did something to Raymond and they knew that Raymond was no longer with them. I don't know if that's what they're implying. I don't know. So, and it says, when was Mary's Social Security number last used? Has Raymond's Social Security card been used since 1971? That would be good to know. Did Raymond and Mary, was there ever a record that they got a divorce? Was there any record of any children? Have vital records been checked for things like that? All good questions. So why was Raymond mistakenly reported as found in 2005? According to Raymond's sister, law enforcement stated that he had turned himself in, although they later stated that was not true and it was an error. Now, how does something like that happen? Did someone come in with the same name or use that name and say, hey, I'm Raymond? His last name just fell out of my head. Raymond Harris. I mean, how do you mistakenly, somebody walks in to, somebody walks into the station and says, "Hey, I'm Raymond," or they think he's Raymond. So they said, "Oh, he's found. He come back." How does that happen? Anyway, they said it was an error. That's a pretty big error, in my opinion. Because it says, according to Raymond's sister, law enforcement stated that he had turned himself in. What would he turn himself in for? If he didn't do anything wrong, he was missing. Was he coming in to say, "Hey, I'm okay, I'm not missing," but it wasn't him? And they said that law enforcement later stated that that was not true. So did they make it up? Did they? I'm confused with all this. It was an error. Anyway, so the person who wrote this says, could it be that Raymond did turn himself in, but requested that this information not be made public, and someone initially let the cat out of the bag? So in other words, they said, "Hey, Raymond turned himself is fine." It is worth noting that Raymond is still listed as missing in the Omaha Crime Stoppers website. So I don't understand. I mean, unless he had problems with Mary, I mean, he had problems with his father. If he wanted to disappear, why would he turn himself in or say, "Hey," go into a police department, "Hey, I'm alive, but don't tell anybody"? I mean, I don't know. It's very weird. This one's very weird. And all this could just be, once again, take it with a grain of salt. So the person writing this says, "I think this case has a very good chance of being solved if someone who is privy to the necessary records would make the effort to solve it." True. Raymond has been missing for 42 years. His family would really like to know. Okay, so an update to the story. I don't know when it was updated. This person writes, thanks to a tip from a reader, we have a viable lead in Raymond's disappearance. Says Raymond may have married a couple more times, though I could find no record of him being divorced from any of his wives. On the exact date of his disappearance, a Raymond Dale Harris marries a Floyd Marie Shull in Reno, Nevada. Now, it could just be someone who has the same name. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what all you have to, what information you have to give to for a marriage certificate. You have to show ID, social security number. I mean, what kind of, especially in Vegas. So once again, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. Very interesting. All right. Okay, I think that is all I had on Raymond, but quite perplexing. Sounds like almost one of them old time, almost said murder mystery, old timey crime novel mysteries. All right, let me get back over here. I think we got 2 more left and we'll be done. Get down to where I left off. I think I missed where I marked my. Okay, I think that's where I was at. Oh man, it's a good thing we're almost done. I think my voice is about to give out. All right. Yes, once again, do all the things. Lance is back. Welcome back, sir. Lance says, reach out to eventually the purpose to check waterways along the path. Yeah, reach out to anybody. Yeah, I mean, if you know, there's a lot going on in Raymond and Mary's case. I mean, if they didn't leave of their own accord, and they left together, and then ended up mutually, splitting ways amicably, and you know, Mary went to live with her life, and supposedly, according to this um, blog thing I read from, whoever wrote it, the blogger said they got a Bible tip from a reader that supposedly Raymond got married a couple more times, although there was no record of him divorcing any other wives. So, like I said, take that with a grain of salt, because we don't have any official documents to back that up. But, my bet would be they, all that stuff makes for a very interesting, intriguing story. But once again, we don't have official documents that we can look at to, you know. So my bet would be, it could be foul play. That's not high on my list. The highest on my list would be, they left together on the way to his sister's house, and somewhere along the way, some accident happened. Depending on the terrain, I don't know what kind of terrain. If it was hilly, mountainy, rocky, they could have gone off a cliff and just haven't been found. If there were bodies of water, they could have went into a body of water and just haven't been found yet. I mean, in my opinion, would be the top of mine. I mean, but please let me know absolutely in chat, or leave a comment if you're watching replay what your thoughts are. Thank you, sir. Lance says, good night, all. I'm falling asleep. You have a sweet sleep, Lance. Good to see you. Glad you could be here, friend. Excellent. Matt is still here from Locks of Reunification. He says, I do want to mention with Raymond's case, I am working with a search and rescue group, and we may end up going on a dive later this year to see if we can find him. Excellent. So that means that there are at least one or more bodies of water on the route that they would have taken to where they left from to his sister's house. Excellent. And God bless you for putting the work in. And if you find out anything that you can let us know, please let us know. Thank you so much, Matt. Absolutely. Okay, and Matt also says, also with Mary, we did do research on her, and no one can find anything on her. I don't think she's alive, and I don't think she has been alive since 1971. Yeah, see, that's what I'm leaning. Like I said, I'm repeating myself, but that's what I'm leaning towards. Is, once again, I'm not a professional. I just go on my gut instinct and vibe from whatever information that we have publicly, what I can find on the Google machine, or from, like people like Matt who have done the research. I just feel that there was some kind of accident and they just haven't been found. Most likely in a body of water, and they just haven't been found, unfortunately. But hopefully, Matt says he's working with the search and rescue group, maybe going to go on a dive to search to see if they can find him. So that's just my gut instinct. Yes. As far as says, bless Matt. Hope you find him prayers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Matt says, in my mind, I think they had an accident that night. I think there was a fight with his dad, and Mary and Ray left and drove on black ice. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yep. My opinion. Yeah, I agree. That's, like I said, that's just gut instinct from the information. That's top of my list, would be accident. Yeah, Miss Barbass, so you think he's in water? Matt said, absolutely. Yep. Yes. Matt says, I'm actually really good friends with Jacob Grubbs from Chaos Divers. I've heard of Chaos Divers, and they're the ones that will be searching for them. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Like I said, please, if you happen to find anything or anything that you can say, I know that things like that are sensitive and you can't always say anything, but if anything comes up that you can, let us know. Please do. Absolutely. And once again, thank you for all your work. Absolutely. All right, let's see who we have next. If I can push the right button. There we go. All right. Let me see if I had any information. Make sure I have the right one. This is Karen Malloyd. Okay. Well, I brought up her NamUs page. It says requested page could not be found. All right, so we'll go with what Matt has, which is always excellent information. So this is Karen Ruth Malloyd. She's been missing since June 13th, 1994 from St. Louis, Missouri. Another one, I think that's the second one from St. Louis we've had tonight. She was just 27 years old when she went missing. Black female, 5 feet tall, 100 pounds. She was last seen once again on June 13th, 1994 in St. Louis. She has not been seen since. Another one, a few details available in her case. But if you do have information, call the St. Louis Metro PD at 314-231-1212. Let me see. I don't know if I had a... Hear me pegging on my keyboard. So when I search, actually, the information on Locks of Reunification is the first thing that pops up on Google. She does have a web sleuth thread. I don't know if there's anything that Matt hasn't already found on. Let's see. Basic vitals. She is on NamUs since 2023. But well, I went to her NamUs page, and it said that that page is not available. I don't know what that means. Does that mean she was removed from NamUs for some reason? I don't know. Yeah, and somebody said her NamUs page has been removed, not sure why. So there's nothing really useful on Web Sleuth. Web Sleuth is my go-to if I can't find anything else. She doesn't have a Charlie Project page. So yeah, no, that's all the information, unfortunately. But we'll go with what we got. Once again, Matt and that team did an excellent job with what they had. Oh, why did I close that out? Okay, I think we have one more. Go back to the right. Oh, yeah, Matthew said that's odd that her NamUs page has been removed. I can check on that with St. Louis PD. Yeah, please. Yeah, because I have it bookmarked. Let me go back one more time just to make sure I read it right. Yeah, NamUs, it says the requested page could not be found. Didn't even have a picture, nothing. It's got the NamUs, the heading and the, whatever. But it says that the requested page could not be found. So I don't know. Very strange. And I've come across, I say several, a handful, that are like that, and I don't understand what it means, because when I come across a page like that, I think, well, maybe they've been found. Either hope, best case scenario, alive and well. Worst case, their remains have been found and positively identified. So do they remove them from NamUs if their remains are found, and are they removed? But I mean, then I'll go, research some more and look at other articles and information, and they're still listed as missing. So I don't know why NamUs does that. But anyway, I keep closing out my dang tab. Okay, one more. All right. So we have James Olin Fross III. He's been missing since March 28th, 1987, from McAllen, Texas. He is a white male, 24 years old when he went missing, 5 foot 10 inches tall, 165 pounds. And he does have a Charlie Project information. Let me read. He was last seen once again March 28th, 1987. He was en route from McAllen, Texas to South Padre Island, Texas at the time of his disappearance. His vehicle was discovered abandoned at the jetties in Isla Blanca Park, which is a camping facility near South Padre Island. Shortly after his disappearance, it says foul play is suspected. So if you have any information, call the Texas Department of Public Safety, Harlingen, at 956-440-6725. And so Charlie Project has basically the same information that Matt Hare at Locks Of Reunification, Matt, or whoever did it. I think Matt does the majority of the posters. Missing since March 28th, 87, from McAllen, Texas, white male, 24 years old, 5 foot 10, 155 pounds. Says clothing, jewelry, a gold chain necklace, and a wristwatch. Brown hair, green eyes. He has a 2-inch scar on one of his knees. He wears glasses or contacts. His nickname is Jimmy. And once again, he was en route from McAllen, Texas to South Padre Island, Texas. The vehicle was discovered abandoned at the jetties in Isla Blanca Park, which was a camping facility near South Padre Island, which is where he was en route to. Shortly after his disappearance, there was no sign of him at the scene. Foul play is suspected. South Padre Island police are investigating. So I wonder if they found anything in particular that made them think foul play, and that they just didn't release publicly for obvious reasons. I don't know if that's the case. To me, that would make the most sense, is that maybe they did find something, and that's all that I had was Charlie Project. Maybe they did find something that might, some kind of evidence that made them, say foul play possible. Once again, I'm seeing if I overlooked anything. That doesn't have anything. He's listed on the Doe Network. It's got all the same information. NamUs. He's listed on NamUs. It's got all the basic information. He does have a web sleuth thread. Probably not anything that we haven't already went over. Dental information. So this was posted in 2018. Dental information charting is available, will be entered later. DNA status sample is currently not available. Fingerprint information currently not available. So just a little bit of speculating. Somebody posted on here in June of 2024. I have the impression that he was approached by some unknown person who was a victim of robbery. Supposedly, according to this person, he was carrying jewelry at the time of his disappearance. They speculate he could have resisted and was the victim of a homicide. They speculate or think their theory the vehicle was not the motive for the robbery. So the possibility robbery. I mean, especially it said he was wearing chains and jewelry, a watch and a necklace, a chain necklace. So possible, possibility. Robbery is a possibility. You can't discount it. Certainly, in my opinion. Because I mean, it said his vehicle was found at the jetties, which is close to where he was going to be camping or staying at the South Padre Island. So maybe, he had parked there and was getting out, and he was, taken by surprise and robbed, and then something happened. But I mean, once again, you got to, it'd be helpful to know, were there any other people around that would have heard or seen something if he was being robbed and his life was taken in the course of the robbery? Or it could have been that there was nobody else around and nobody saw anything, and could have been a robbery and he ended up losing his life and the offender put him in the water. I mean, just the little pieces obviously of info that we don't know is always helpful. Anyway, once again, let me your thoughts in chat or leave a comment if you're watching replay. Because we know that people don't just vanish into thin air, even though sometimes it seems like they do. All right, I think that is the last one that we had. Yes, it is. So let me get caught up in your comments and we will get out of here. So how did I do on my first time back in after a month? And get back into it. And next week we'll be back to for our Missing Person Monday live stream, back to a city. I'll have to look and see what state we're on now. I've been trying to go alphabetical states. We didn't start out alphabetical, but I've been marking off the states that we've featured cities, missing people from a city in each state. So now we're going to try to go the rest of alphabetical. So I'll have to see. It's been so long, I can't remember what state we did last. Anyway, I've got it marked in my book. I'll look it up and see. So next week we'll be back to whatever city from whatever state we're on. We'll be trying to get back to our normal. But I just always like to, no matter what, take a break from whatever we're doing and feature most certainly Locks of Reunification, Missing Person. They do such a good job. Once again, Matt, Miss Rose, and everybody over there, such a fantastic job. So I always like to feature them, and I give them all the shout outs and the credit in the world that they deserve. And I also like to, as much as we can, Stolen Spirits, MMIWG, once again on Facebook and YouTube. On Facebook, they do wonderful posters featuring MMIP, missing and murdered Indigenous persons. So I like to do feature them a lot, as much as we can. So just kudos to everybody who features any missing person, but most certainly indigenous cold cases, because those are the ones, unfortunately, that don't get a lot of attention, especially the indigenous MMIPs and the cold cases. Cold cases get not all of them, but for the most part, get pushed to the side and forgotten about once again, just because there's so many new missing persons that come along. Sometimes especially if you're out of leads or whatever on a cold case, we got to put it to the side and concentrate on this new, we know how it goes. But anyway, I'm babbling. So just thank you to everybody who does, the creators who get on here on Facebook and share. Thank you to everybody else who shares live streams and videos and flyers and information. Thanks to you guys. We couldn't do it without you. You are absolutely important to help get this information out. So I will quit babbling and get caught up in the comments, and we will get out of here. So we'll be back next Monday. I'm trying to think. Trying to think of the scheduling here for the week. I might be able to do a live stream Friday. Don't know if it'll be a fun, casual one, but I do have there has been a lot in the last month going on in the true crime community that I'm behind on, that I would kind of like to get caught up on. So we'll just play it by ear. Could be a mixture of both anyway. But if I will get it scheduled if I can do a live stream Friday. It'll be the usual time, 8:30 Central Time. That's a long way off because it's only almost Tuesday here technically. Let's see. Yeah, once again, do all the things for the YouTube gods. Thank you, Mustang. Always good to have you here, my friend. Always great to have Miss Barb here. Says good night. Good night. See you all. Good to see you all. Great life. Stay safe. Everyone be kind. Absolutely. Kindness. We cannot have too much kindness. There's no such thing as too much kindness. All righty. Thank you. Mustang said I did awesome. Thank you, Miss Farr. Thank you, Mark. All righty. Wait a minute. Oh, there's Miss Z. She says, I will be on rewatch. Sorry I missed you all. That's fine, ma'am. I gave you a shout out anyway. I always give Miss Z and Doc and Moo. We can't forget little Moo, the little kitty. Such great work that they do over on Trial Junkies United. They're live Sunday nights, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central. Please do check them out. I just can't get enough of them. I can't say enough good things about them. They just do wonderful work. They do a lot of work on injustices, unfortunately, there are a lot of injustices, both old and new, that happen in true crime. So please go check out Trial Junkies United. It's always good to have Miss Z here. Say hello to Doc. Say hello to Moo. And happy anniversary again. They said, was it last night? Sunday night. It was Miss Z and Doc's anniversary. So happy anniversary again. Let's see. You are so very welcome, ma'am. You're so very welcome. All righty. So, since I still have not got a new outro made yet, we'll leave you with the fur babies. And like I said, we'll be back definitely next Monday for back to our feature in the city for our Missing Person Monday. if I've got my scheduling right, probably will be able to do a live stream Friday night. But if not, I will see you Monday night. So until then, everybody have a good week. Be safe. Be kind. We're all we have. Take care of each other. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend. And I will see you guys soon. Love you guys.